Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Before the ceremony begins, we ask that you silence all electronic devices and please refrain from smoking during the ceremony. distinguished guests, friends, and family members of Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, and Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, on behalf of Major General Colin Tooley and Command Sergeant Major Brian Haight of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Philip Kinnery and Command Sergeant Major Jason Dean of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honored veterans, and members of the proud infantry family, today we stand together to honor a remarkable milestone, 250 years of courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication by the United States Army Infantry. As we gather to celebrate this extraordinary anniversary, we reflect on the heritage of a force that has not only shaped the history of our nation, but has also preserved its freedom one battlefield at a time. From its inception on June 14th, 1775, the infantry has stood as the backbone of our Army. Whether storming the beaches of Normandy, trudging through the frozen mountains of Korea, or braving the deserts of the Middle East, infantry soldiers have borne the brunt of battle with valor and resilience. They have secured the victories that carved our republic, reunited a divided union, and defended democracy around the globe. The story of the infantry is one of quiet heroism. Infantry soldiers have faced overwhelming odds with an indomitable spirit, leaving an enduring legacy of selflessness and courage. They fought on the hallowed grounds of Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Antietam. They marched through the trenches of World War I, stood firm in the jungles of Vietnam, and operated in the urban combat zones of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each step forward has been a step closer to protecting our shared ideals in liberty and justice. Today, we celebrate this legacy. We also honor the adaptability of the infantry. From musket to M7, the conventional battles to asymmetric warfare, the infantry has evolved to meet the demands of ever-changing conflicts. These warriors are not just soldiers. They are leaders, diplomats, and defenders of hope in some of the world's darkest moments. To the next generation of infantry soldiers, we look to you to carry forward this proud legacy. You embody the Army's core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. The challenges of the 21st century demand not only physical strength, but also the intellect and adaptability to navigate cyber threats, complex geopolitics, and modern battlefields. This day is a reminder of what it means to be infantry, to close with and destroy the enemy, to take and hold ground, and to do so with determination and honor. It is also a day to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, heroes whose names are etched into the very fabric of our nation's history. One of those leaders was 2nd Lieutenant Daniel K. Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On 12 September 2014, soil was spread on this parade field from San Terrazzino, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in his honor. In 1997, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945 at San Terrazzino. As a platoon leader in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, 2nd Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant, aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, led his platoon to advance through fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended and fortified ridge known as Col Musaleteo, outside the town of San Terrazzino, Italy. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantry soldiers. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These soldiers are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and they can take great pride in their accomplishments. This ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the results of which are these superb infantry soldiers prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. Like you, we are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. On the far side of the parade field, the World War II Company Street serves as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantry soldiers who walked before us. In just a few moments, out from the past will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad. It is the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. Infantry soldiers have the most challenging job of any member in the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearer for all the armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantry soldier must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantry soldiers graduating today are accomplished marksmen and indirect fire infantry soldiers, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mounted force from Strykers or Bradleys, in the sky as airborne or air assaults, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots who raise their right hand and swore an oath to God and country to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. If called upon to fight building to building in urban terrain, to clear the ridges of mountains, or to deliver aid and provide security in areas stricken with natural disaster, these warriors make the difference in defending our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. They are armed with an M7 rifle. The M7 rifle is the latest evolution of service rifle, utilizing improved ambidextrous controls and the 6.8 by 51 Fury cartridge that is designed to defeat the latest in adversary body armor. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed with an M7 rifle. This rifle is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M157 fire control optic, an infrared laser designator used to engage targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. They are armed with an M250 squad automatic weapon. This system replaces legacy systems, providing improved firepower with a sustained rate of fire of over 600 rounds per minute and weighing 6 pounds lighter than the previous weapon system, the M249 squad automatic weapon. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. They are armed with an M7 rifle and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with an M7 rifle and the M136 AT-4 anti-tank launcher. The AT-4 fires an 84mm shaped charge capable of defeating up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the advanced combat helmet with the AN/PVS-31's monocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldiers to see in low or no light conditions. Coupled with the laser designator on their weapon, they can place effective fire on all targets at night. On their torso, they are wearing the second generation modular scalable vest, MSV, which consists of 4 armored plates capable of stopping arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, he is wearing ballistic eye protection, knee and elbow pads, and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's rifle squad are from Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, in any type of terrain against any enemy. These infantry soldiers are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Rifle Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching onto the parade field are the infantry soldiers from Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, and Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. The company commander for Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment is Captain Kalen Redmond, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Victor Tran. The company commander for Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Captain Kammerer Olin. And the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Joshua Ritzema. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Matthew Longar, Executive Officer of 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment.
Sound, present, arms. Down, order, on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. Chaplain Kevin Moses of 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regimental will offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Sovereign God, I invite your presence this morning for the graduation ceremony of Easy Company 254 and Echo Company 119. For Lord, first I celebrate these soldiers standing before us, who have fought hard these 18 weeks to complete their OSET training. Lord, I am also thankful for the drill sergeants who diligently trained each one of them, strengthening the capabilities of our infantry, our Army, and ultimately our country. Next, Father, I ask your favor will go before each of our graduates here today. Bless them, Lord. Make each of them mentally tough, physically strong, and morally straight as they each go to their next assignment. Finally, Lord, thank you for the strength and perseverance given to make each one here successful. We celebrate these today. In your mighty name I pray. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Larry Kay, and the Battalion Command Sergeant Major, Matthew Peeler.
Sound, present, arms. Sir, the command is formed.
Conduct the ceremony.
Cast a shoot.
Male foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Sound, order, arms. Persons to be honored in color. Center, march. Sir, persons be colored in all areas present.
Take your post to present the command.
Cast a shoot.
Male foot.
Sound, present, arms. Detachment, present, halt.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you are not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Attention! Order! Off! Down! Order on! Red, red!
The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The companies standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantry soldier. The crossed rifle insignia with blue background discs and the blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry crossed rifles, blue discs, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, United States Army infantry soldiers. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantry soldiers are the drill sergeants who the Department of the Army carefully selects. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle from Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, Senior Drill Sergeant Gonzalez, will recite the drill sergeant creed.
The drill sergeant creed. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I'm an American soldier, born to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The drill sergeant of the cycle and distinguished honor graduate will each receive the Army Accommodation Medal or Army Achievement Medal. Receiving the drill sergeant of the cycle award from Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Staff Sergeant Cobb from Daytona, Florida. The distinguished honor graduate from Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Private First Class Cole Langford. Private First Class Langford's follow-on assignment is RTLI. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment is Staff Sergeant Jonathan Gonzalez from the Bronx, New York. The Distinguished Honor Graduate from Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment is Private First Class Jonas Numbers. Private First Class Numbers' follow-on assignment is SFAS. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Larry Kay.
Major General Tooley, Command Sergeant Major Haight, Brigadier General Kinry, Command Sergeant Major Donaldson, Colonel White, Command Sergeant Major Roney, distinguished guests, visitors, friends, and families of Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, and Easy Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. Welcome to today's graduation ceremony. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Kay, and I am proud to be a United States Army Infantry officer. First, let's give a round of applause to the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, whose performance today honors the achievements of all those on the field before us today. To the veterans and current service members in the audience today who've shared their loved ones with us and their friends, Thank you for your service, and thank you for your support over the average of 20 weeks. Service strengthens the character of our nation, and my family and I are deeply appreciative of the honor, the courage, the commitment, and the sacrifices you and your families have pledged on our country's behalf. Before I describe to you the transformation and the accomplishments of the soldiers before you, I want to extend my deepest appreciation and respect for the drill sergeants who made this transformation and these accomplishments possible. For the last 18 weeks, the drill sergeants poured their heart and soul into these infantrymen. They spent countless hours, days, and nights away from their families, friends, and loved ones. They dedicated themselves to providing these soldiers with a world-class education on soldiering to ensure that no soldier goes untrained into combat. You could compare their relationship to your soldiers' teachers when they were younger, except these teachers spent cold and wet nights with them, taught them discipline, strengthened their character, challenged their fears, encouraged their selflessness, picked them up when they were down and broken, and developed in them the grit required to thrive in the harshest environments. In sum, day in and day out, these drill sergeants expertly fulfilled their duty to produce the world's greatest infantrymen. The time, energy, and selfless commitment to the next generation of infantrymen is not lost on us. With that, I would like everyone to give another round of applause to the drill sergeants and their families. Five months ago, your children arrived at Fort Benning to begin the greatest journey of their lives. As civilians, nothing was really expected of them. They existed for themselves, and for many, this was not enough. They wanted more. They wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves. They wanted to honor their families. They wanted to be part of a team. They wanted to become part of the greatest fighting force the world has ever known, and above all, they wanted to serve their country. For the last 5 months, these infantrymen awoke every morning early to conduct physical training meant to harden their bodies in preparation for the rigors of soldiering and combat. Their character and identities were molded by the Army values, the soldier's creed, the infantryman's creed, and the warrior ethos. Their personal courage was tested with obstacle and confidence courses. They were toughened with road marches, combatives, and hand-to-hand combat. They became brilliant at the basics with marksmanship, spending countless hours in the day and at night behind the trigger of every weapon you'll find in infantry units across the Army. They discovered the importance of fire and maneuver as they safely conducted live fire exercises as part of 2- and 4-man teams. They learned how to treat the wounded and to save lives under enemy fire. They learned fieldcraft, that is how to establish and secure patrol bases in the middle of nowhere, and how to remain hidden from enemy observation by use of camouflage, and how to navigate and move swiftly and silently from one objective to another. Finally, they demonstrated every one of these skills in a culminating event lasting 96 hours, which included a 13-mile foot march in full gear, earning their cross rifles, blue cord, and the right to refer to themselves as U.S. Army infantrymen. These infantrymen before you come from every corner of our great nation, from Florida to Guam, from Alaska to Maine. Many of these soldiers were not citizens until now. Among the many benefits of joining the Army is that it is a great pathway to become a citizen of the United States. Today, I would also like to recognize 5 soldiers who completed the journey to citizenship. Citizen soldiers accept personal responsibility for the fate of their country and work tirelessly to serve and improve it. Please give our newly minted citizen soldiers a round of applause. When these infantrymen arrived here at Fort Benning, they had very little in common, and other than a shared love of country, nothing bonded them together until now. Emerging from Inouye Field, they emerged as infantrymen and joined the storied ranks of many before them who've served our great country in peace and war for over 250 years. Today, they begin writing the next chapter in theirs and the Army's stories. To the soldiers of Echo and Easy Company, welcome to the infantry. As you depart for your next assignment, reflect on the transformation you underwent here at Fort Benning. Live the Army values and embody the soldier's creed and the infantryman's creed. Be safe, trust your training, trust your leaders, be the teammate you'd want on your team, and build upon the foundation you've forged here. Be proud and continue to make us and your families proud. Follow me, brave and bold, Mel Foote.
Attention! Attention! Post! Forward!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, they are all warriors and members of a team. The Soldier of the Cycle, Private First Class Langford from 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, will recite the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed! I'm an American soldier. I'm a warrior member of the team. I serve the people of the United States and live in armed values. I'll always place the mission first. I'll never accept defeat. I'll never quit. I'll never leave a fallen comrade. I'm disciplined, physically, mentally tough. Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I'm an expert and I'm a professional. I stand ready for the Lord, the age, the sword, the enemies of the United States of America, equal in combat. I'm a Robert Freedom, America at life. I'm an American soldier.
Sir, the infantry soldiers of Echo Company 119 Infantry and Echo Company 254 Infantry Regiment are highly trained, prepared to take their place in infantry units around the world.
Pass the review.
Cast a shoe.
No foot.
Pass and review.
Follow me!
On the floor from the right. Right, sir.
Stand fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in the stands until the soldiers have completely left the field. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Matthew Longar, Executive Officer of 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment. Now approaching the reviewing stand is Echo Company 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment, commanded by Captain Kalen Redmond from Kalamazoo, Michigan. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Fernando Cortez from Kingsport, Tennessee. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Michael Rensdell from Salem, Oregon. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Jacob Michaels from San Diego, California. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Staff Sergeant Dane Carter from Fairbanks, Alaska. The First Sergeant for Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 54th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Victor Tran from Baltimore, Maryland. The Color Sergeant is Drill Sergeant Samano Samano from Phoenix, Arizona. Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Cameron Olin from Tampa, Florida. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Philip Mason from Spokane, Washington. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class William Albright from Huntsville, Texas. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Daniel Hernandez from Guaviare, Colombia. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Sergeant First Class Jesse Gilbert from Gay, Georgia. First Sergeant for Echo Company, 1st Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Joshua Ritzema from Wichita, Kansas. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army Song. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 198th Infantry Brigade Commander, Colonel Jacob White, and Brigade Command Sergeant Major Dan Roney, we thank you for attending today's graduation ceremony. You may now join your soldier in the formation area in front of the museum. Have a safe journey home. Follow me.